Once upon a time, there was a phytoplankton named Miss Phytoplankton Orlando who had a huge crush on Mr. Sun.
Oh, I love Mr. Sun, but he'll never love me.
He turned her on by his light ray.
Mr. Sun, turn me on,
allowing her to turn on photosynthesis. Miss Phytoplankton Orlando began to grow tired of Mr. Sun philandering with all the others. However, Mr. Sun really took a liking to Miss Orlando, and to gain her attention, he wanted to show he could provide more than his light ray. He knew the way to her heart was to provide her with an abundance of nutrients from runoff. He enacted the hydrologic cycle, a cycle of processes which water circulates between Earth's land, atmosphere, and bodies of water. First, with his hot temperatures, he evaporated water into the atmosphere, where the water turned from a liquid to a gaseous state. With cooling temperatures provided by the high albedo, or rather high reflectivity of the clouds, the gas particles reach speeds slow enough for condensation to occur. As liquid water particles suspended in the atmosphere join one another, they become heavy enough to fall as water droplets onto land through precipitation. Water makes its way via gravity to the lowest point it can find, and in the process washes nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus off into waters like oceans or lakes, known as runoff. Miss Orlando was delighted to see such an abundance of food. She took this as an opportunity to reproduce rapidly. Or, I guess you could call her Miss Orlando Bloom. A phytoplankton bloom is a high concentration of phytoplankton in an area caused by a rapid increase of reproduction. One day, Mr. Sun's other two toxic mistresses, Miss Diatomic and Miss Dinoflagellus, come along. They are infuriated by his philandering and cause harmful algal blooms. Harmful algal blooms are large blooms of toxin-producing phytoplankton that negatively impact the marine and human populations. Ms. Diatomic and her family use their toxicity to harm all the other organisms, while Ms. Dinoflagellus creates a unique red tide algal bloom. These toxins bioaccumulate at each trophic level, eventually even harming humans who catch species in these waters. Unfortunately, when Mr. Sun sleeps, there is no light for photosynthesis to produce oxygen. During respiration, phytoplankton consume oxygen. The net usage of oxygen is greater than what is being produced, and the water becomes hypoxic. Decomposers swimming below these algal blooms also use oxygen throughout their decomposing process. This leads to a shortage in oxygen supply to the point where there is no oxygen available. This is otherwise known as oxygen dead zones. The oxygen dead zones are hypoxic areas that cannot support most marine life near or in the bottom water. Being the playa Mr. Sun is, he quickly forgets about his love Miss Orlando and moves on, which keeps the cycle going.